At this
Right
point,
now,
at this
today, there's no way it can get past 80, 84, and that's going to climb as time comes, as more capital goes into the network. So obviously when we get to 70,000, whatever weeks in the future that is, more capital's coming in because we've got 150,000 people coming in every day buying Bitcoin. For you to think of it in a price discovery, the market's a price discovery mechanism. Mm-hmm. And you've got long-term buyers coming in. Whenever it dips, someone buys the dip and says, I'll take that price, thank you very much. So it's rejecting any lower price because people do want to buy it. And so if you get this history of it, oh, I'll buy that, and then, oh, I'll buy that, and next higher price, you get this kind of pattern forming where this thing is discovering its natural price higher and higher. And certainly with Bitcoin being quite special, it's a market that's not at saturation. Publicly traded markets, commodities, gold, anything you can think of in the traditional world is at saturation. It's done its full penetration of its market base, people trading it, whereas Bitcoin, of course, is in this hyperbolic curve upwards as people adopt it. And so we're currently something like 50,000 more people that you can see on the blockchain per day coming in to buy it for the first time. So that means probably around 150,000 people all told, including the exchanges. They'll probably be seeing 150,000 people per day right now coming in. So obviously you've got these hordes of people coming in to buy it, and every dip you get, they're buying it. So you get these you'll see this sort of upward moving. Every dip is brought up higher, and that would be explaining this particular triangle within Bitcoin. I reckon where we're at right now is sort of a halfway intermission. Every time miners sort of exceed their prior all-time high, the last one was 2017, obviously at the top of the market. Since then, we've had a halvening, so they're mining half the number of coins per 10-minute block. So they've got to make that up with higher prices. And we just kind of passed through that zone at the weeks, a few weeks ago, where we went into this consolidation band. If you look at whenever they go through this zone, price goes through like a consolidation. And if you remember the double pump of 2013 on the charts, that was a
what was that?
That was that big sort of run up, and then it corrected, I think 93%. But if you were tracking the minute chart, but people thought that was a bear market, but that was actually the consolidation of 2013 because it was such a volatile asset. And we saw the same thing in 2017. We hit that first major dip around the 2,000, 2,500 zone. We went through this big consolidation. That marked the sort of the halfway point before we ran up again. So I think we're there. We're just sort of pausing, and we're just making that breakout. So it's interesting in this. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, how the price chart will shape till the end of this year, because things have accelerated so quickly. And if we have the same sort of quarter that we had in the first quarter, it seems too fast, and that would normally spell the bear market, and it might come early if it's going up at this rate. I use a bunch of models, but like the main one that I'm predicting the top on, that's a moving average essentially. It's something what tech traders will call a mean reversion model. And that simply is a moving average. Like a lot of people use moving averages on the price chart. And when it starts to run away from the moving average, you tend to think of that as being overheated, and it's going to come back to that average. And this is a special one, which it's not rocket science. It's essentially the all-time moving average. It's the cumulative moving average, like the entire average for the entire price of Bitcoin since year dot. It uses that as a metric, and it happens to have hit every single top that we've had in the history of Bitcoin, which is, and so if you measure that line, it gives you an upper bound where we can hit before it's got to come back down. So the longer this bull market runs, the higher that top can go. And right now it's so fast. Right now it's on track to go above 300. Normally this line, the top cap model, it curves upwards near the end of the year. And so if it goes straight line at 300,000, if it starts curving up, we're gonna hit 400, 500. I don't know how high it'll go, but it's really great because, you know, Plan B sitting there with his stock to flow model, which gives a hard number of 288,000, right? And mine is like, I don't care. As more money piles in, this line keeps moving up. It's a moving target. So, but you know, even that 288 target, you'll see that it overshoots. It always overshoots. Its fair valuation based on scarcity is based on that model. It overshoots. So if it's 288, it goes to 3, 4, even 5. It kind of fits his model because we overshoot and we come back down on the other side of it. Right now, I don't know if anyone's talking about it, or if you lay down the Fibonacci retracement line. So, you know, what that is Fibonacci numbers, magic spirals, golden ratios, all these sort of patterns in nature. As it turns out, markets are patterns in nature, and you put that trace over the price chart, and the next resistance is exactly in the zone what we're contesting right now, which is 63.4 thousand. And we're just working our way in that zone. Normally it goes sideways, it tests it or rejects it. So it's going sideways. Once we get past that, I think it's 74,000 is the next fib level. So it should be relatively clean sailing up to there. And then we can see, like, I have a model right now. It says we can't go past 84, 85,000 based on the amount of capital that's come into the network. And so at this
over what
point,
period? What this? At this
right
point,
now,
at this
today, there's no way it can get past 80, 84, and that's going to climb as time comes, you know, as more capital goes into the network. So obviously when we get to 70,000, whenever month that is, or whatever weeks in the future that is, more capital's coming in because we've got 150,000 people coming in every day buying Bitcoin, so let alone the hedge funds. So yeah, that gives you an idea anyway of price target.